following presentation is being brought to you by Sports Plus.
This Sports Plus broadcast is copyrighted by the RSH. Any redistribution, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without express written consent is prohibited.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Toronto, Ontario. And welcome to the first edition of RSH Thursday Night Baseball, featuring two AL teams, the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays. A very highly anticipated matchup today, as we have two teams looking to find their identities in this lock hold of an American League. On one hand, you got Dowers, who's trying to redeem himself in the past 2 or 3 seasons and trying to lead a team to glory. But you got, on the other hand, Cos, who's trying to make himself a little bit more known as he already is. But this matchup is set to be a great one. We have a bunch of stars from either side that's going to dictate how this game goes. I will say the Toronto Blue Jays entering this opening day has a lot of injuries. Yes, they do. There's reports that Kaz or Zav were out with the ankle injury. They will not be participating in this matchup tonight. So they relied on 41-year-old Capital, who came out of retirement. Yes, you heard me. 41-year-old Capital is playing for the Toronto Blue Jays. And you would think, they put a team around him and all that, but I mean, the teams they're not even here. They're not even here. I don't even know if they're here all the way. But this is set to be a great game. I'm Pacific as always. I'll be commentating tonight's matchup here in Toronto. This is Thursday Night Baseball on Sports Plus, and we'll go to commercial break, and we'll be back with the beginning of Rangers Blue Jays. Hi everybody. Yes, I'm back after unprecedented circumstances. We had to wait a minute because the Blue Jays like had technical difficulties. Turns out that one of their firework machines caught on fire. So that's why some of the stands are covered in some black ash. You can look at the center field area. Yeah, they and now Toronto is scheduled to take the field capital and and J Rod, aka Destroy, he has not been here since season 7. I can't, bro. These chat restrictions are so bad. I can't even alert him. I can't alert him. It just gave me a notification that said you can't not alert this guy. Wow. What I will say is about these chat restrictions, this is going to be a huge problem for the league. Like the communication part, bro, it's just gonna mess up the entire league. Honestly, like we've already, like people in the league have already taken effect. Teams are not in the best position right now. I think some teams don't even like communicate using VC, but that is kind of ridiculous that these chat restrictions have to go in. But it's like not even our fault. I mean, it's just a very unfortunate circumstances. We're waiting for him, and I think he just woke up and I think he is going to get ready to get on J Rod. Uh, Now this matchup, I will say, is a little bit not what we expected. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, Toronto is entering this game with a lot of injuries. They did recently just call up 41-year-old Capital, who's in the center field. If we get cameras on Capital, he's a very renowned player, very respected player in this league. I mean, he's been here for so long. The vet can only do so much, and I think he is actually on the mound. Yeah, yes, yes. And now we are finally underway. Yes, I have to use M because he has chat restrictions. Z Man, I think, is leading off, and he's taking all day to get in the box. And play ball has officially been called. Kick firing away for J Rod. That is a fastball way up high. And yeah, this game is underway. First edition of Thursday Night Baseball. J Rod throws a sinker way up and in the corner there. Um, there were supposed to be streams for next Thursday, but they have been canceled due to our production team not being able to get to the location. Um, I guess I have I have very mixed opinions about it. I'll let you know. And my phone's about to die. That's of course. Anyways, yes, I sound boring like right now because there's like really nothing going on. And oh, there is a line drive by Stowers, and that'll be a base hit. Um, I forgot that um that is Stowers. He's on an auto count. Clips is up. Rookie, his first at bats of the season. J Rod trying to hold this team down. Clips is on hard mode as he gets a fastball way up high. Clips takes on slider down low. He is in a 2-0 count quickly. J-Rod is not having the best of start. He already has an out, but he's quickly in a 2-0, and Clips takes on that slider way inside. That's going to be a 2-1 count. Stowers on first. You got to think about it. Clips does not swing at ball 3 up high. That is a 3-1 count. Potentially can be a walk here if Clips plays his cards right. He does play his cards right. Gambles. Capital's going to pick it up. Snipe Stowers at second. That is going to be the second out of this inning, but Clips is going to be safe on 1. That is 2 outs for the Toronto Blue Jays. A very, very predictable ground ball. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Holy lead. Holy lead. That's an out. That's an out. Clips led off the base, and that is the end of the inning. That is going to be the end of the inning. Texas already making crazy mistakes. And it's not even the bottom of the first.
He didn't die.
Producers, can we look at our chat? Thank you. Oh. Hold on. I have another one. Anyways, bottom of the first. Speaking of J-Rod, he is up. And I believe Stowers is pitching. J-Rod fouls that one off. Bro, I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm going to just grab my food. No, I'm not going to eat. J-Rod lines that straight to Jacob at third base as a first out. Capital is up. I'm going to go AFK after this bottom half of the inning. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. We're going to explore local Toronto food. You know, we're in a different country. My producers are fat shaming me. Capital locks and lows. That is going to be ball up high. Stowers and Capital. They've been going at each other back and forth over the later portion of this off season. Capital swing, high drive, deep, and that is gone. Capital puts Toronto on the board with a solo shot. His first of the season. Capital is making himself known once again. The 41-year-old has not lost his strides. That is a beautiful homer from Capital. Shot. And that, well, man, Stowers early already giving up a homer. I mean, geez Louise. That is a shot. J-Rod is now in the batter's box. He takes on strike 1. And there's going to be a 1-1. Stowers kick fires. J-Rod swings and misses down low. 1-2 counts. Stowers looking to get his second strikeout. He will just do that. Strikes him out with the curveball down low. Can we get a replay as Capital now comes back up? Can we get a replay of that homer? Star Wars Yard, looking to make it a second one. Knowing Capital's hitting abilities, he can definitely make it a second one. This just reminds me, no glaze here, but it just reminds me of the good old days, when I was playing with Capital back on the Mariners squad. I mean, that was a beautiful run we went on. I mean, rookie season Capital very much can that rookie season performance from Capital cannot be taught whatsoever. Capital's in a 2-0. Star kicks fires. Capital fouls it off. That would have been probably just smothered. Stowers is not in a good situation against one of the best, probably one of the top hitters in this league. Capital takes on slider down low and outside. What a paint. 2-2. Stowers quickly regaining himself in this count. He has an important decision to make. Stowers is looking kick fire. Capital fouls off the ball up top. 2-2, still alive. Capital is trying to keep that alive. Stowers kick fires again. Capital deep right field, and it's out of here again. Capital is not playing today. Back-to-back homers in the same inning for Capital. Make it 2 on the day for the 41-year-old Unk that just came out of retirement. Let's get a replay on that. Capital 2-0 Blue Jays in this opener. Not the start you would expect for the Texas Rangers right now, but there's a lot of this game left to go. And I will tell you right now, Stowers better get out this inning. Holy crap. Stowers was talking all this about how he was going to lead his team. Oh my God, J-Rod! Deep left field, it's gone! 3 homers for the Blue Jays in the first inning. It does not matter. J-Rod is helping Capital in a 2-man army, and that is another solo shot for the Blue Jays. What a shot once again, and they are on. 20 pitches of this game, and I have to say myself, that is what he gets for speaking so highly about his team. That was ridiculous. And now Stowers is gonna continue kick fire. Oh, that is foul. Wow. Almost number 4 of the inning. Stowers is being owned right now. It is not looking good for Texas, and there's been a lot of speculation of Brownie leaving, and I think this will probably do it for Brownie. Brownie does not no longer want to be on this organization. An opening day for the team, and that is not how you want to start after speaking so highly of yourself. And there was reports of him going to the media and saying he was going to go 13-4 and win the AL. He said he was coming for it all. Like, this is not what you want to start out with if you're a team that is talking all that. Stowers kick fires. Capital swings on the bait, and that is going to be a fly out end of the inning. Your score at the end of the first, 3-0 Blue Jays, a monstrous inning. 3 homers, 2 by Capital, and 1 from J Rod, and they will turn it over to J Rod for the second inning. I will be right back in like 2 minutes. I'm going to get my food. That is crazy. Yeah, I'm going to get food. I'm back. Mm, I'm back, everybody. Um, J Rod's in a 2-0. I mean, 2-2. Brownie hits that one down the line, cracked off the wall. Capital's going to get it. That is going to be a base hit for Brownie. Second hit of the game tonight for the Rangers. Trying to start something after whatever that horrendous first inning was for Stowers and company. Um, Low key, I just got some spaghetti and some garlic bread. Feel me? Every day we eat good. And I'm supposed to get some, and they finishing up the oxtails. Feel me? Every day we eat good. But J Rod is in a 1-0. There's a slider in the top corner. Jacob takes again on a changeup up and in. Wow. Quickly in a 1-2. Swings at the changeup down low, and that would have been a wild pitch if not swung on. Wow. This is not the start you expected from a Texas team like this. I think Dapple is up. Is he up? Oh, Z-Man's up. Z-Man looking to. He's another great hitter in this league. What do I tell you? Fouls it off. That was a very meaty strike. I will say that. That is. But he is still a very good hitter that can probably propel this team within a deficit of 1 if we place his cards right. J-Rod throws a knuckle up and swings. And strikes out looking at the slider down low. That is the end top of the second. And I believe and coming up soon, we have Speedway Classic, the third annual Speedway Classic between the Pirates and the Royals on Monday, February 2nd, 8:15 p.m. right here on Sports Plus. Star Wars begins the inning, lined out to first. Um, Capital is back up. He already has 2 homers against Stowers. Stowers gonna try to play his cards right. Throws a ball down low and see that's not something you want to do against a good hitter like Capital. Stowers kick fires. Throws a curveball down low, and that's going to be a fly out. That's going to be 2 outs. Two outs. J-Rod is up. Stowers is getting through this inning rather quickly in comparison to whatever that amalgamation of our first inning that was. That Stowers in a 1-0 again. Kick fires. Just J-Rod fouls that off. J-Rod still staying alive. Stowers kick fires. Ball down low. Yeah. Stowers again. 4 straight balls that have been swung on twice. This guy, this guy's playing passive. He is playing passive. 5 balls now. It is 3-2. Stowers trying to get this strikeout. Kills one. Straight to first base out of the inning. Bottom of the second, end of the second, still scoreless from the Rangers. Now we move to the top of the third. J-Rod is still cooking this Texans offense. And play ball has been called. 29 pitches through for J-Rod. Now the 30th. Stowers is swinging down low, and he misses. Tell you, this guy been talking so much about his team doing all this. And he's swinging up top again. 0-2. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't talk all this and expect people to ease up on you. Nah, you made enemies with your whole AL, bruh. Like, come on. As he steps right back into the box. 0-2. J-Rod kick fires. That is way below the zone. That might be grounds for a wild pitch. That's just me. Swings and misses outside. That's going to be a strikeout for J-Rod. I believe that is his 4th today. Maybe his 5th. I'm not sure. I don't know who's keeping track of stats. Dabo's up. Takes on sinker up and in. That ball renowned contact hitter takes on fastball up high. Capital playing an interesting shift. Try to predict where the contact hit will go. Dapo takes on slider. The Rangers need to start something, and it needs to be now. Swing and a miss way down low. This is something that was observed in the preseason. In the White Sox Rangers game, they were swinging at a lot of pitches that were way below the zone. I think this team needs to figure that out. Brownie down the line, that's going to be foul, barely foul. That could have been fair. It just had crossed the first base mark. Jeff swings and misses down low. And 0-2 quickly. J Rod to finish the inning. Swing and a miss up high. 3 up, 3 down. To the bottom of the third, we go. Texas remains scoreless. What's up? I think I have a remote. Oh yeah, bottom of the third. It's a very interesting game. Not how I expected it to go. I'm restarting the game, bro. My thing's tweaking. Or not my thing, my phone's tweaking. Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties. Jesus, I'm back. Finally. Thank God. All right. I don't know what happened. Somebody got to fill me in. I bet my producer's going to fill me in. You know, I was bottom of the third, 2-1 count. I wonder who's in the box. J Rod D back there. That is called a deep fly out for J Rod to end the inning, and we're in the fourth. Thank God. There's nothing for this Texas offense. There's nothing for both offices, but Texas, bro. Oh my goodness. Hey, they need to start something, and it should be now. It should be now. Mm. many shutouts this season already. But honestly, this honestly all just comes from everybody being rusty. I can't really put it past anybody yet. I can't really put it past anybody, but I ain't gonna lie. Like it gets to a point. Like if you were actually good last season and you weren't swinging at like balls way down low for whatever reason, you should be fine. But like everybody else, I feel like it's just everybody being rusty. I don't think anybody who's watching these games and judging these teams should hit no type of panic button. Give it a week or so. I'd say after the first two series, then we can start hitting the panic button on what teams are actually bad. I remember I was seeing on social media and people were like, oh well, this team is fraudulent because they just lost 1-0. But I mean, like you gotta understand, we had like a 2 month break. Everybody's been rusty. I mean, I think everybody needs to chill on everybody being like good automatically. I think it's just a habit for everybody. I think we need to just be more paying attention to everybody coming back from such a long time. What a slider way inside. 47 pitches for J Rod, and he's still shutting them out. One more out and going to the bottom of the fourth. But now in this situation, I can't lie, bro. Like like Stowers overconfident organization and he actually gets owned. Literally, it was literally just tweeted that Stowers is getting owned and everybody's reacting with celebratory images. It's ridiculous. I mean, when you overhype yourself, bro. Oh, hey, now, Capital back there. End of the inning. Bottom of the fourth, we go. Dapo pops out a very meaty strike. And if you're anybody from the White Sox or the Kansas City organization watching this game, and umpires confused about closing row for that reason. Bottom of the fourth, Stowers is still on the mound for God knows how, why. And Capitals up again. Say your prayers. It's about to be a third homer. Just say your prayers. There's God Stowers, who clearly doesn't know what he's doing on the mound. All right, what? No, producers, can we look into Jen? That's ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, bro, can we look at Jen? No, go look at mine. I disconnected from the game. And Capital down the line, past everybody at the wall. That is going to be a calm base hit. You know, you know what they say. You talk too much, they're gonna get back. J Rod with the hit straight to the first baseman. That is an out. Capital is going to go back to bat. And J Rod's gonna run first in his position. Capital had a stellar game today. 2 homers, 2 RBIs, miraculous field plays, and leading this team to what it is right now. Stowers kicks, fires, school has Capital swing at that curveball. He's trying to close out this fourth, and it's not looking good. His stamina, he's gonna slip up and throw a bad pitch, and it's not gonna look Good. Ooh, that's a slider outside. Mm-mm. Feel me? Can we get a? I think that was play clock. I think that was clock. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't take an all day. That man was taking all day for whatever reason. All day. See, he playing too much. So I ain't gonna lie. You see that knuckle up and in. That's bad business, brother. Mm. Stowers in a 2-2 in a predicament. Kick fires. 3-2. Uh-oh. Full count for Capital. You do not want to walk. He throws him change up and in, and it's fouled off. He's lucky it's fouled off. And Stowers is trying to figure himself out. Kick fires. What did I say? Deep right field. It is absolutely smoked and gone 5-0. 3-homer game for Capital. What did I just say? Wow. Stowers is oh my god, social media is gonna tear him up. The showers are calling. It's time to get him off your team, and you said that this team was gonna be on the top of the AL. And now look at the situation. You're down 5-0 in the opening game, and I get it. Your team's rusty, and I'll give it. Don't worry. I'm gonna give it to both. I'm gonna give the teams the benefit of the doubt. You're rusty at hitting. I get it. We're all rusty. We came off the 2 months. But brother, you can't come out here saying things and don't think that everybody's about to just take everything lightly. That same Atlanta kid that came in here in his first interview with the Texas franchise, and he acquired them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I love American Deli." We get that grace to young PMs, son. You can't just sit here, and that is gonna be a line draw. That's gonna be a base hit, sir. You, you, no. We get that grace to young PMs, as I was saying. You're supposed to be the franchise owner of the Texas Rangers, and right now, you're playing like a bomb. I suggest he start doing his job before they actually that chemistry in that locker room get real crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, we going 13-4. Yeah, we this and that. We gonna be on top of the AL. I'm coming for it all. The only thing you coming for. And he dove. And he dove. And he's out at second. You know. I mean, he played the part. I mean, look at him. Like he fit the whole role. Kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh. And he just said everything. Literally, it's in general. It's quoted. This guy literally said all of this just for his team to get slammed on their first game of the season. Now Brownie's about to end up trying to leave. The team's gonna be thrown off. The locker room gonna be on Stowers. This is all PM and Stowers' fault. I don't blame none of the at bat. You know, I don't think that. Oh, and he's out. That's going to be the top of the fifth. Last chance for Texas, but it's looking hopeful. And if I'm not mistaken, he has a complete game shutout on the way, but commentators curse he has a complete game shutout on the way, but not a perfect game, ladies and gentlemen. I know everybody was like, "Oh, does he have a perfect game?" No, I think Texas has like 2 base hits, and they'll be fine. And yeah, I don't know who we're waiting on. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm not mistaken, right, they're at Toronto for one more game, right? Because if they are, bro, they gonna have. Listen, that plane ride back to Texas is going to be a long conversation. A very long conversation. Oh, other warning track down to Capitol. Oh, no half. Another base hit for the Texas. I think they're gonna start. It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous to say that. Now, anyways, now Capitals trying to do everything in the field. I think they're gonna start contact hitting. I mean, you know, J Rod is trying to deal a complete game. They should have threw Capital on just for fresh stamp, but I know Capital's not the best option. Jacob is swinging wildly up high, and and I will say this right now. I think that Stowers needs to rethink what he said during the off season. And I know people on social media gonna be like, oh, why are you ripping on him so much? He's a young PM. No, we don't give that grace around here no more. He had he he had his time. We don't give that grace to young players, bro. He has a 4-24 record as a PM. This is ridiculous. And I get it. He's trying to build back a franchise, but brother, you can't be out here telling everybody, "Oh, we going 13-4, and oh, we gonna win the AL. I'm coming for it all." Clearly not. Clearly not. And he really needs to rethink. I just think he would need to rethink. Listen, whenever we schedule a time for Four Corners, Stowers is getting ripped up on that commentary. I already know they're going to rip him up, and I think J Rod has 10 Ks. If I'm not mistaken, he has like 10 strikeouts. He's been dealing the cards with a one-man outfield. He is an out away from a complete game shutout. This is ridiculous. 0-2 quickly. The He has 11. He is about to finish the game with 12 Ks. Swing and a miss. The game's over. The Blue Jays win 5-0 in an unexpected victory for the two-man army. They take care of business with an injured roster. That has been that. This has been the end of this stream. I'm Pacific. Thank you for watching Thursday Night Baseball. We have a second doubleheader edition going to Pittsburgh, where our local crew with Teo is going to take over for Pirates Rockies in a few minutes. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Pacific, and Nev is having a seizure on the floor right here. Let's get a camera on that. Thank you for watching, and we'll get medical crews on that ASAP. And thank you, and good night. Good night, everybody.